you. Hi, everyone. I think that many people are saying hello. Lucia, Nats. Um, I can see here Cristina, another participant of us. Um, Danai, B Sketch, Andrea, A Juarez. Well, hi to everyone. Here we are with Guillermo Del Rio. Well, first of all, hi, I'm Patricia Garcia, Architect US founder, and I'm super excited to be here with you today because I think that we're going to have such an inspiring story to share with you all. Thanks to Guillermo. So,
Yeah,
muchas
I'm
gracias,
excited.
Guillermo.
Muchas
Thank
gracias a
you.
ti. Yeah, I'm excited too. I was looking forward to this interview. So
Yes,
here we are.
but tell us, where are you? Because I see a Harley Davidson behind
Uh,
you, or what is that?
yeah, these are bicycles.
Oh, bicycles. I thought it was a
Yeah.
motorbike. Okay.
So this is like the co-work space of where I live, which is a co-living building in San Francisco. So that's where I am.
Wow. But
Yeah.
tell us about that because you told me when you moved to San Francisco that you were living in a space, but I don't really know what it is. It's not an Airbnb. What is it?
Yeah, so a co-living, it's like living in a building with different people that are usually young, and you get to live with them like in a community. So it's always new if you're new to a new city like me, and you don't know many people, so you make friends
But
quickly.
that's
I mean,
fantastic. So, but it's
yeah,
like a hostel, or you have
it's
your.
not a hostel because you have to sign for at least 4 months this place.
Oh,
So you have to be here for 4 months at least.
gotcha. It's more temporary. I mean, more long
Yeah,
term.
yeah,
Temporary, long term.
people just come and go. But yeah, it's cool because there's always like activities going on. There's like meditation classes, yoga, gym.
Oh,
There are also
wow.
hikes on Saturdays.
That's
So
amazing. We
there's always
definitely
something
have,
to do.
yeah, we definitely have to look into this in the main cities where we have participants or where, future participants will be
Hmm.
landing because that is one of the most common questions we get. Like, guys, please tell me that you will be helping us as well with the housing. And so far, we haven't been able to do that just because the U.S. market goes so fast, as you know, that managing that from abroad is very difficult. But I think that that's great. I mean, did you find it? Well, let's land people first, and then we can go into this. So you were working in LA and you just moved to San Francisco. So did you find this while you were still in LA or you first arrived
Yeah,
in San Francisco?
I found it in LA previous to coming to San Francisco. I wanted something, place to sleep in before I came here. Yeah.
Wow.
That was very important. I didn't want to sleep in the streets because I didn't know anyone
Oh,
here.
especially in San Francisco, right? I mean, it's
Yeah,
not it's not very dangerous, but there's a lot of funky people in the
yeah.
streets.
There's lots of homeless people, so you would just be one of
Another
them,
one.
like for a
Another
few
one.
days. Another one. So
Yes.
yeah, it wouldn't make a change. You just would be like another one.
I see, I
Yeah,
see.
but it's
So,
better to sleep under a ceiling. So
yeah, no, of course, of course. And we're glad that you are fully settled because you've been in San Francisco for how long already? 2 or 3 weeks, right?
yeah, it's been 3 weeks now.
3 weeks
Hmm.
already. Okay, so let's go back to the beginning so then we give some context to the people.
Okay, sounds good.
Um, I think it's better that you speak because I'm so chatty and I don't want to talk much. I want you to introduce yourself in your own words. Like, how did you land into architecture? Where you study? Well, just a little bit of your beginnings, and then we will be jumping from uh, one time to another.
All right. So this is gonna be like a brief, like a really quick summary. Since I
Sure.
was a kid, I really like drawing. I draw. I have to say, I draw very well. Architecture, not
Really?
people or anything. It's architecture. What I draw very well. I like
Since you
hand
were a
drawing
kid. Since you were a kid.
since
This
I
is
was a kid. Then my
wow.
father is an engineer, so I've been always
Okay.
interested in construction. So yeah, I wanted to be an architect. I studied in the Polytechnic University of Madrid, 5 years bachelor, just like you. Yeah, 3 years. Oh, sorry about that.
Yes, no worries. But before that, because I'm very detail oriented, and if you don't mind, I will just stop you when I find something that is interesting. And I think that you said that is not that you were kind of interested in just general drawings. You always drew architecture, or it was technical architecture because of your dad's influence? Because your portfolio is
Um,
very, very technical, I have to say.
yeah, it's very technical due to because I'm really passionate about construction. Always I draw hand sketches. I like introducing the construction, the structure, and maybe like the MEP systems, which are the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing inside the sketch. So that's
Wow.
like giving more information, and it shows like how the building
Yeah, how
works
the parts
actually.
come together and all the
Yeah.
layers behind
Um,
the design concept.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
So that's information you're adding, and the more you add to a drawing, I think the better it looks. Also, the more you reduce the drawing, the better it looks. So,
Yes, yes.
um,
Well, guys, if you're interested in seeing some of the great drawings that Guillermo does, well, if he gives permission, we will be happy to share some of this. I don't know, through stories or on our blog
mhm.
or something. So stay tuned, because well, I know very well your portfolio. I don't remember right now the sketches, but it sounds very appealing what you're saying. So I'm particularly interested in seeing how that's working. You think that that approach to design concept through sketching has helped you to accomplish some of the milestones that you've got in your career, or is completely a hobby for you aside from
Yeah, I
professional?
mean, it's been always a hobby because that's what I do in my spare time. Well, I'm a normal guy. I don't just like do
I,
drawings. I like enjoying
are
life.
you a nerdy? Are you a weirdo? That's what you said.
Oh, no way. No, no. I'm not one of
No,
those.
no, no,
No,
no, no.
no. So yeah, that's like a hobby. But yeah, that like drawing well from the beginning has helped me to think about architecture, construction, all put together, and yeah, also to pass my tests at college and all these
That's
subjects
that's
about
what I was gonna
projects,
say. That's what I was
construction.
gonna say. Has it helped you to, I don't know, win an award or to actually get to a competition entry because you were so different that instead of just submitting renderings or, computer drawings, you did it with drawings? I mean, with the sketches, or you
Uh,
haven't seen yourself in that position?
I have not seen myself in that position. I've done a couple of competitions, and those I just worked with Revit and AutoCAD, not
Okay.
hand sketching,
Okay.
because I had to
Well,
produce some renders, and that's something you cannot do with your hand. You just have to
but
use the
in
computer.
in in the design process, you always start from the
Yeah,
sketch kind of level.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, always
Got
I
it.
do competitions when I was in college. Always I started with sketching, and then
Uh-huh.
I translated that into the computer.
Got it. And then, so you studied 5 years, or yeah, a few years in the Polytechnic in Madrid. And what was your first job? I mean, did you work while you were studying, or you just finish and then wait to find your new job, your first job?
Yeah, so
What was your process?
yeah, so I actually worked while I was studying. I worked at two construction companies, uh, and yeah, that was like during summertime, and then I was a whole year working for another one, and that was during my studies. Yeah, so it was like a part-time job
Got
because
it.
I also had to study during the day.
Yes, 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 yes.
And
Well, that I'm sure that gave you like a broad idea of what architecture, real profession, will look like, right? If you
yeah,
were
right.
working as while you were studying.
Yeah, these were not architecture offices; they were construction companies in Madrid. It was good. It was different. I
But
got to
were you
measure.
at the
I got to.
site? Were you at the site? I mean, because
Yeah,
they.
that's why I liked.
Oh,
I was at the site. I was visiting like parking structures below grade. I was also going to these residential buildings with some like some issues. Like
but that's pretty unique, because normally, when you are in the architecture world, you know, and you are starting your professional career, you are very eager to go to the site and to get that opportunity, and you're always asking your, you know, supervisors or bosses, please, I would like to go. And how did you get actually while you were studying that opportunity? It was through an internship, or what sort of
Yeah,
work frame?
these were internships. One was like almost a year. The other one was just like 3 months during summertime.
Got it.
Yeah, I just got them through the internet, just applying.
It was
And
not even through a professor or university
no,
program, just
it
you
wasn't
applying.
through any contact. It was me applying, and that's how I got it. I applied to many places. And
Well, that is one of the features that I think that really um, showcase how you are as well, the personality of you as an architect, like always pushing your limits and trying to, you know, get where you wanted to be at, regardless, you know, if whether you were ready or not at that moment. You just wanted to work in construction, right? And and you did it. That's a great. I think it's very inspiring for those who are a little bit scared to
hmm
be too young or to be at a very early stage of their career. I think that you
yeah,
always have to follow what your, I don't know if this sounds a little bit cheesy, but yeah, if your heart or if your passion is telling you that you want to learn how to put things together, why not? You know, you just
yeah,
have to go for it and apply. I don't know. I'm sure that you applied to many places, but at some point you got it, right? And
yeah.
that has,
I mean, yeah, if you put like the effort and just a little bit of luck, then you got the job. Doesn't matter if you're in COVID times or there's always like someone that is willing to hire
well,
another
we
person.
we will get there, that's for sure, because after, well, those years doing internships while you were studying, when you graduated, what was your move? This was your first job when you moved to LA? No.
No. So yeah, I got these two jobs at construction company when I was like doing my bachelor and master in Spain. Then my first actual job after college, after my master's, was in Iceland, in Reykjavik. So I was there for 8 months working at an architecture office, and I was participating in the largest project ever done in Iceland. It's a very small country, so that's why.
Yeah.
And it was a
Well, but it
hospital.
was the largest one, so you
Yeah,
have
it
to
was the
say it.
largest one ever made. Yeah, I mean there are like 300,000 people there, not many big projects, and yeah, it was just about like solving construction systems for the facade of the new hospital. Uh, it was like the
Cool.
university hospital, and they were adding some volumes to the existing one. And I was there
Interesting.
for 8 months. It was
And
cold.
why
It
it
was
was
dark.
only what it was only for 8 months? It was a particular program, or it
No,
was enough for you?
I just got it applying for myself. It wasn't a program. It was just like an internship. It was 1 month. Then they decided to send it. So that's why I was there for 8 months. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like, why did you? What was only for 8 months? You decided that you wanted to come back, or it was because you got the next opportunity?
I got the next opportunity. The contract was over. Like they
Oh,
could
okay.
just extend it for another 7 months. So it was 8 months total. So yeah, it was over. I had to find something else. I applied everywhere. I got the job in LA. I got like three offers from LA, one from New York. I also applied to Hawaii. I didn't get any offers from there. And
I
then
think that is at the moment that you contact us, right? That you were. I
yeah,
vividly remember you. I was studying at that moment a master's, a business master's, and you were like calling me
hmm
every other day just because you were looking for different opportunities and very
I needed the visa.
enthusiastic. Yeah,
Yeah.
you needed a visa, obviously. But I mean, like, I remember you being super energetic. Like,
hmm
we were always telling you, well, just remember that if, this becomes like a huge challenge and you don't get any offers, we could always also help you because you have a strong portfolio. And you were, yeah, sure. But I'm gonna try to find it myself. You were super confident in
hmm
yourself, which is great. And that's what it led you to get this amazing opportunity at Corgan, right? In
Right?
LA.
Yeah. Yeah, I was
And
good.
yeah, how did you get it? I mean, were you applying? Just tell the people how was the process you follow? Like, how did you organize the job search while you were in
Okay.
Spain? How did you apply? What sort of search engines did you use? I mean, just a little bit so they get like a whole picture of how you did it.
Okay, I didn't have like any strategies. I just tried to apply as many places as I wanted, as I could. Also, like the ones that I was interested in. You
Of
just
course.
have to go on the internet and search for architecture offices in the place that you want to go to. My case was LA, New York, and Hawaii in the United States. You just search for it and go
But
into the
did you use a
websites.
specific, did you use the website career section or you also use, I don't know, Archinet or World Architects or LinkedIn? Um,
Yeah, so the three main pages I use are Glassdoor, LinkedIn, and Indeed, because you find job offers there.
yeah,
And
yeah.
those are the three of them. And then I go into the website of the offices of the studios, and I see the email that I have to send my portfolio to, or maybe they have like a link where you have to fill in all your information and apply for the job that they offer.
Got it. Well, let me just add something to these three main platforms that you mentioned that obviously I think are the most renowned ones. And reliable ones at the same time for looking for a job. But I have to say the glass doors, just because as we deal with many international architects that come to us either for the visa or for the job plus the visa, and they have so many questions that in many, many cases, they come with very high expectations salary wise.
Hmm.
Because you know that Glassdoor show you, well, that's the whole concept behind the webpage. The salary ranges and reviews from former employees and things like that. So you get an idea of what sort of job you could expect at that particular office
Hmm.
before applying, right? And
Right.
so the salaries in many cases are really, I think that really high in comparison to what the reality is. And I think I remember having this conversation with you. Didn't we have this conversation? Like, but you did pretty well. I have to say that you've got really good positions, but that doesn't apply to everyone. I think that you were lucky at the same time, as you were mentioning before. But what I'm trying to say, guys, is that be just a little bit conscious about those salary ranges. Sometimes are a little bit high, and you shouldn't set your expectations super high. To be honest, my recommendation when you are at an early stage in your career is that salary obviously is important. You know, that's gonna um, make a difference on how you're gonna be experiencing the city where you move to, but it's not the main priority. You shouldn't be focusing on making money and getting super healthy at the very beginning. You should just, well, just you should mainly focus on absorbing as much as you can from methodologies, culture, professional hierarchy, well, networking, all the professional experience that you can get, and obviously try to go up the ladder and promote and getting raises and so on. But salary shouldn't be the main interest, I think. What do you think about that? Because you've worked in Spain, Madrid, Iceland, and the US now in two different cities. What is your opinion in terms of salary? How do you think architects are treated in the different countries that you've been?
Well, architects are very well treated in California. They are very well treated in Iceland. They are not well treated in Spain, not at all.
Not at all. Yeah, that's why we all
No.
have to leave. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
you're you're absolutely right. I have to say that there's a difference also between the West Coast and the East Coast. Well, again, your particular case is pretty unique. I mean, you got really good salaries in both companies, but in the East Coast, in New York, for instance, where I have my well, quite a lot of experience, The salaries are not that high. I would say for someone at the same
Mm.
a level of experience. Actually, did you get to apply to any job in New York? Did you see these differences?
I applied in New York, but I was not focusing on salaries because I couldn't see the salary that they, like all the salaries I've been offered, they just told me in the interviews. And I couldn't see them like on the websites. Well, maybe Glassdoor, yeah, you can see them there, but I've never got a job in Glassdoor.
Yeah, and you never
So,
got to interview or an official offer from
yeah.
a company in New York. Okay, I see.
But you have to consider also that these cities, like California, is very expensive. Like San Francisco is the most expensive city in the U.S. Then New York to go second. These are the two
Yes.
most expensive. LA, where I was, also it's very expensive. So salaries have to be high as well because you are spending so much during the month. Here, for instance, in San Francisco, the average person pays between $4,000 $5,000 for a very tiny studio in the city. So people just live outside San Francisco. They live in Oakland
Five
or
thousand per month
a month, yeah.
for an
5,000,
stu
4,000. That,
Okay, well, a studio is like a privilege in any large city in the US, like
yeah.
New York, the same.
Hmm.
But what about sharing, an apartment and you having your own room? What is,
That, that's what people do if they live
yes.
in San Francisco, in the city.
And how
Uh,
much it would be? What is the range? What is the minimum that you could find?
single
And
room, single room are like $2,000.
oh wow, that
Just
is
like
more,
a room for you.
and that's
You
the
can find
cheapest
that's average.
average.
You can maybe find something cheaper. Yeah,
Then
here in San
is
Francisco.
I would say it's like a 10% more expensive than New York. Because in
Hmm.
New York, you can find a room in Manhattan, maybe not Midtown, but in the uppers or, for 1,200, something like that. That would be already cheap, 1,500, let's say. But 2,000 is
Yeah, it's like
impressive.
a crime, right? It's a lot of money.
It's a
It's
lot of money. It's a
That's
lot of
why, yeah,
money.
people just
And what about the
uh,
co-living? How does it work? Is it
uh,
more affordable?
that's more affordable because you're actually sharing a room with other people. You're sleeping with others in the same
Oh,
room.
you share your room. Got it.
But still,
Okay.
it's very expensive. That's like 1,400,
Yeah,
and you're
wow.
sleeping with other people.
Well, Guillermo, we are very confident that you're going to be promoting very soon. And so you will be owning the co-living space in a couple of months or a year. But let's go back to your time in Corgan in
Okay.
LA. So when you landed there, what was your first impressions and the main struggles that you have to face in terms of adapting? Because there's obviously, I mean, you were doing architecture, same thing that you were doing in Europe, but obviously there are differences. What would you say it was, oh my God,
Yeah,
I
it
will
was very
never be
rough.
told.
It was pretty rough for me. It was like an exceptional case. Uh, I have to, yeah, I was like 4 days living in a place. I had like issues with this woman because she was saying that I scratched a table, which was a lie. So she got my deposit and she got like my monthly rent, and I was just staying there for 4 nights. So she kicked me out of the house like at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh,
I called the
wow.
police. Like all these cops came to the house. They couldn't do anything. So what did I do? I sued her, and we were gonna go to court. That was
You
my
kidding
first.
me?
That was my first 4 days in the U.S. in California. I
Oh my
arrived
gosh.
the 1st of January, so I sued her. I reported it to everywhere,
Good for
the
you.
embassy, everywhere, like the police in Marina del Rey, the police in Spain. Everybody knew because he got a lot of money from me. It was almost like $3,000.
So it was a ripoff or
So
something.
we got to a deal. We didn't have to go to court, but that was like a like a nice experience, right?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
It was nice,
Wow.
but yeah, it was funny.
Yeah.
That was my first 4 days. Then I found a place. I was in a hostel in Venice Beach, and that was very cool. I got to know people. We were partying in West Hollywood. Like the first month I was in California, the job was amazing. I loved my work. And then I found this co-living in Los Angeles where I moved in, and
Oh,
yeah,
you've
it
been
was
living since then in a co-living.
in a co-living in LA. That was amazing. All the friends that I made there, I still visit them. Last weekend I was in LA.
We're gonna definitely look into that and recommend it to our participants because we didn't have many references and seems like it's a good option. But in terms of work, how was your landing into Corgan? Did you experience a big struggle as well because of the transition? Did you have to adapt to too many different procedures, protocols, methodologies, or it was like a smooth transition from the architecture in Spain
No,
to LA?
it was not a struggle. I got used to it very quickly. All the methodology. This is a corporation. This office has around like 700 architects, so it's one of the largest in the U.S. So yeah, they had like the methodology, but I got used to it. I was working for the education sector. So yeah, it was great. It was like a new
But
business.
tell us, because this is also interesting. In Europe, well, in the large cities, there are a few corporations, but even in Madrid, we don't really have that many,
Nah,
corporate companies, right? So it's completely different. So for anyone that is watching us today, even in obviously from other parts of the world, tell us how, because I also work for a corporate company in New York, and well, I'm also curious to see if it was similar or not. So your first day, when you walk in the door, uh, what was the process? There was someone introducing you to the team, or you were put in a desk and they give you like a tutorial? How was it work? How did it work?
yeah.
Sorry.
So my supervisor, I mean, I got into the building. It was great. It was a building designed by Gensler. It was a great building. I
I
have to
know it.
say, it was amazing. That office. It was in the sixth floor. It was like all these concrete floors that you were able to see.
It's
The
beautiful.
structure was also you were able to see the structure in the building. It was a beautiful building. We had these very nice views to West Hollywood, Beverly Hills, Santa Monica. It was amazing. So this, I had a supervisor. He introduced me to the team. He put me in my desk, and yeah, he was like the guy that was always like by my side, tell me how to do things, and I was working for him.
Was this Anthony or a different person?
Yeah, this was Anthony mainly
Oh, okay,
because I also
okay.
work in other sectors
Okay, got it.
in the same
But he
company.
was the one, it's just that I remember my personal experience when I got to HOK, that's where I worked in New York. They had so many internal protocols and procedures. And so the first few days, I was mainly part of training sessions into Revit, into the workshop, how to use the plan desk. I mean, all these things that I was very surprised and at the same time, thankful for someone or a couple of people, investing their time in showing me all this. You didn't have anything similar to this?
No, they don't train you on Revit or anything. You are supposed to know that.
Well,
But
yeah, of
yes,
course, but into the specific Corgan standards, you didn't have any transition into that.
um, yeah, yes, like the way they work. Yeah, I was trained how they work, like in Revit, how it's organized. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you get trained always. You are new in a company,
Yes.
so
Okay.
you get trained in the softwares.
And
How it
and
works,
and
timesheets, all that.
timesheet. That's also another world every Friday. Um. So and in terms of the tools, softwares, and so on, was there any particular software that you have to learn or um,
Not really, no, because all
Revit?
offices, it's Revit. It's about Revit. Like many offices are yes transitioning from like the software they used to work with to
Uh-huh.
Revit.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
So yeah, it's Revit mainly. It's a program I've been familiar with since many years ago. I have no problem using it, so that's the one that I used in Oregon.
And this is because you learned at the school, or is
I
because you were
I
self-learner?
learned, yeah, I learned it. I was a self-learner during college, so that's a program that I used during college as well. But I learned it by myself. I also got into like courses, so that
Mm.
helped.
Yeah, definitely, guys. For any of you that are at the last years of school, or you are recent grads looking for a job, that is a common question as well. Is there any particular software that I should be focusing in? Definitely, Revit is like it's a must, right? Especially because it's more, quite likely you will be taught the software in a way that is not exactly the same way you will be using it once you land in a especially when it's a large company, because you will be working with other professionals. I'm sure that you are in heaven working with all that MEP at the same time that working with architecture.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Revit is a great software because you are always in contact with the MEP, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing, with engineers, with the different consultants. Uh, So yeah, it's great to be familiar, and all the guys that are now studying at college, I would tell them to learn Revit because that's what they are going to use at their work.
Yes. And so you worked there for a year? No, less than a year. How long were you at Corgan?
So I've been working for Corgan since 6th of January
Oh,
to end of August. So it's been like
yes.
8 months, I think. Yeah, around 8 months.
And so how was the transition? Because I know that it was so unfortunate, well, for everyone. The COVID outbreak hit many firms, studios, and even large
Yeah.
corporations like Corgan. And you have to, I mean, you just saw yourself in a position that it was pretty dramatic, right? Tell us about that.
Yeah, it was very, very dramatic because people now are just letting people go from companies. There's not that much work, not many projects. So it's very difficult these times to get a job because people are just getting rid of employees.
Even in
Uh,
LA, because LA, I remember that when I visited back in December, oh my gosh, almost a year already, that I actually got to meet your supervisor in the great building that you were mentioning.
mhm.
Um, he was telling me, and all the companies that I met with, that there was like a bubble, probably related to the Olympics, that are gonna be in 2022, right? I think in LA, or is
Not
no,
sure.
not sure.
I'm not sure.
Anyway, but there's like a like big event going on in the city that is bringing obviously a lot of business for the construction industry. So even having that, you're saying that the industry is struggling as of right now.
Yeah, yeah, it is struggling actually. Yeah, because of all this COVID situation, nobody saw it coming. Because January, February, March, we were doing very well in Corgan, and then they let go like around 90 people in the same day.
Oh,
So yeah, it's very difficult times now, but there's always chances. Like I encourage people to apply, apply, apply. That's what I did, and I was only given like less than 30 days to get a job due to my visa status that I had to go back to Spain. So that was very rough. Like all my friends were encouraging me, but actually they were thinking, "Oh, this dude's not gonna get a job." Like they don't even
oh,
have jobs here in the U.S. These friends of mine, they are Americans. They are not able to find jobs, so I had to find a job just like in a few weeks.
yes.
And it wasn't only finding a job; it was also like coordinating with the sponsor, which is you, Architect As. It was coordinating with the Chamber of Commerce. It was coordinating with a new studio, and that was also had to be in time during those 30 days.
You have an energy for that and for dealing with five more things at the same time. I still remember you
Yeah,
every time you email us. I was like, oh my God, this guy is gonna have a heart attack at any second because you were really really, obviously, trying to make it possible. But it's funny because tell them a little bit, if you don't mind, about the search process, because it's not that you only got this offer. I remember,
I
emailing
got,
several companies
yeah, I got many
because you got
offers.
yeah.
Hmm.
Why do you think you got I mean, what there was a difference between you and the other cases? Was there any particular thing that you
You've gotta
were?
be, yeah, you gotta be active, 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 lots of energy. I was waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I had to find a job. I wanted to stay in America. I didn't want to go back to Spain. Even though I love Spain. It's my favorite country. I was born there. I love it. But if there's not that many opportunities, I'm gonna be somewhere else. I needed a job, and I was gonna get it, no matter what. And I knew it. I was gonna get it. It was a lot of effort, but also
You never
I was
lose
lucky.
faith, right? You never
Yeah,
lose faith that you were gonna make it.
yeah. You also have to be lucky. I was lucky. It's like emailing the sector, like the person in the correct time, and they need a person. And then they had this place that I got. They interviewed like several other people. I was not the only one.
Ah, I
Uh,
remember. I remember having
so it was difficult to get it.
a conversation with, I don't know if it was the principal or, well, a pretty high up person, uh, and he was very, very, very impressed by your, work and your portfolio. But at the same time, he was, interviewing other people
Hmm.
and very concerned about your timeline because of the visa.
Yeah.
But it seemed like you impressed them and
Hmm.
you got it. Even, I mean, you had like 10 or 15 days left, so you were
Yeah.
fine. And I was gonna say that, besides the COVID situation, just finding a job within 30 days in a
It
crisis.
was it was actually within 2 weeks
I know,
because
I
the
know.
2 other weeks were just like all these
Moving, yeah, and
yeah,
paperwork.
all this process, all the paperwork. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I was gonna say that there was an extra challenge added, which was that you couldn't really just walk into the door and then drop in a resume or portfolio, right? You were actually just doing it by computer. So what I'm trying to say that is, if someone is now in Tokyo willing to do the same, they could be doing it, right? Because you didn't do any interview and in person.
I never went to an office. No, it was always through a computer. Also, when I was in Spain, I got the job in LA through a computer from my room in Spain, Madrid. That works. That actually works. Some offices don't like you to go there without an appointment. Like they would be like, "Who's this guy? Why is he
Yeah.
here?"
In the
Uh,
US, they're pretty sensitive about those things.
mhm.
Yeah, they like to follow the protocol. But it's funny because you haven't even been in the office yet then, in your new office?
I'm always there. Yeah.
Oh, now you're
Uh,
always, so you're not working remotely anymore.
no, I always try
Okay.
to go to the office. I've been always in the office. I mean, most of the time I'm at the office, but like I don't know, like twice a week or 3 weeks a week, I'm going to the site and I'm on the construction site. Like I'm reviewing the waterproofing and all this. So it's like a
Uh-huh.
great job. Like 2 or 3 days a week, hopefully four. I'm on the site, yeah.
Wow. Wow, you're
And it's
lucky.
like high-rise buildings. It's amazing. I love the job. It's like very high buildings, very tall in San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose, and a lot of variety. They're
When I
always
spoke
different.
with the HR manager, well, she told me that they were actually pretty busy. They were not expanding the staff crazily, but I mean, they are just trying to be prudent because of the situation. But
Hmm.
they might have more opportunities down the line. So you guys check it out if you're interested. I don't know if I pronounce it correctly. McGinnis Chen Associates, right?
Hmm. Right. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it's written down in the copy of the post. And is there any do's or don'ts that you would highlight from your experience, like especially the don'ts? Is there anything, because right now, there might be a lot of people saying, well, this guy, I don't know if he's a good reference or not, because it seems that everything worked out super well for him, which is not true because there was behind a lot of work, obviously, as you mentioned. But was there anything that you learned in terms of, shit, I shouldn't have done this, I shouldn't have said this, maybe I should have tried a different avenue? I don't know. Is there any
Yeah,
don'ts
you just have
that you will
to.
highlight?
I don't know. No, you just have to, when you are doing a job, you just have to be yourself. You just have to be normal, act normal. The boss is another person just like you. You just have to be how you are, act how you
But
are. That's my recommendation.
what are you trying to say? Don't pretend to be, I don't know, something else. I'm just trying to extract some recommendations in terms of if there was something that you learned from what you did that it was not maybe the best practice, just so these guys know, or the
I don't
opposite.
know. Like, I don't know. I cannot remember any like bad experience at work. I was guided. I was trained.
You feel
I
that
did.
you are actually, they are considering you at the right level where you are, or you feel like you should be higher up or actually with less responsibilities?
I think I was at the correct level at Corgan, and now at McGinnis Chen, I'm learning. I'm at the correct level as well here in this new office. I'm just trying to learn the procedures that they use and get used to them.
Do you work always for a supervisor, or you also have people that you are kind of leading?
Now, like since I'm at the beginning of my career, I am not leading anyone. Now, I, I just do what supervisors tell me to do. But these guys are super, super nice, and uh, yeah, like I am multitasking. It's not only about one project. It's like many projects,
At the
and
same
that's
time?
yeah more in this company. Like yeah, at the same time. So that's great.
So that's the
Uh,
main difference between
and
Corgan and McGinnis. I mean, or is there anything that you will highlight that is different from one to another?
yeah, McGinnis is like a small company, and Corrigan is very large. McGinnis, for example, you are more familiar with people because it's smaller, right? Like I don't know, we are between 20, 30 people as you get to know everyone, not in Corrigan. So yeah, yeah. I mean, you are more familiar with people if you're like in a smaller company. And I don't know, like in this office now, I get to go more to the side, which I like it better.
Uh-huh.
You learn a lot. Like it's not only about like what you draw in AutoCAD in CAD drawings, like these
Yeah.
lines. Then you go to the site and see what they are. So that's very good. You see all the layers and
You're
how
making
they.
me feel so jealous.
I'm
I think that,
sorry.
yeah, I know. I think that you got the perfect job in terms of, you get to see what you're drawing to get
hmm
built. It's like a dream for any architect. But where can we see Guillermo in 5 years' time? So where would you like to see yourself in 5 years' time?
I don't know. I don't know where I'm gonna be. As I said, like I finished my studies, then I flew to Iceland. I am now in California. Like a month ago, I was in LA. Now I am in San Francisco. I don't know where am I gonna be in a year. But I really like California, so
It
this
seems
could
like
be
you
an
are a
option.
pretty flexible person. That's also very important.
I like adventures. Yeah, I like traveling. I'm
Yeah.
young.
No, but
Mm,
what I'm trying to say is that from the very beginning, you said that you were mainly interested in New York, LA, or Hawaii. And I don't know if this was also actually like like a milestone in your way, like, oh my God, I have to start all over in a city that I didn't have in my mind, like San Francisco. Was that an extra challenge, or it was actually, oh, it's
it's
exciting?
always a challenge, of course, yeah, because it's like a new city, it's new people, it's new work. You just have to adapt to it the the better you can. So the first day it's gonna be exhausting because it's everything's new for you. But you get used to it. Like there's no problem with that.
Okay, someone is asking us something. Sorry, how many years of experience do you have, and where is possible see your portfolio? Yeah,
Okay, so
we're asking him to give us permission to show the portfolio. So this is the perfect moment to see if that will be possible because I don't know, Guillermo, you are familiar, but we are running a portfolio challenge every month, and it's becoming really, really popular, and it will be lovely to count
okay.
with your drawing, so people can get inspired by your work. But just tell them how many years of experience do you have before graduation, because you work for a couple of years, I think you mentioned, as an intern, and
Hmm.
then since you graduated.
All right, so yeah, I'm gonna answer Nati Urgio. Yeah, so years of experience would be like 2 years total. Okay,
2 years.
2 years, around
It
two
seems like you
years.
have like five, but
Is it because of the beer? I'm growing my beer.
no, no, just because you sound very rounded as an
Hmm.
architect. But the key here, I think, me acting as a supervisor trying to hire someone, okay? I've never hired an architect, but I work, one of the things that we do, and I'm part of the selection committee, is to review the work from other, architects. And when I was working for HOK, I was actually also helping in that regard. And so now I'm very familiar reviewing portfolios and getting the best bits out of the person's work there. Um, so I would say that one of the things that set you like in a different level is the versatility that you have as an architect. What I'm trying to say is that um, you are not only into design, but you show the process that a project follows, like the construction, the technical aspects behind the design. Um, that's, I think, something that is like an extra value. Is something else that you can bring to the table, and is very, very appreciated by not only human resources but like team leaders. And so, guys, if we're just always saying the same thing, like, don't reject details, you know, um, construction sections, uh, all that technical part of the project, because it's actually very beautiful if you have it drawn very well, and also very appealing for the person that is going to be hiring you. Do you think that that has also helped you?
Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, the more you know, the better
Of
for the
course.
company. Yeah, it's always like if you study like in a polytechnic university, like I mean, you have like lots of like knowledge about construction, and that's something that the people that hire you appreciate.
A lot.
Uh, yeah. So yeah, the more you know, the better.
And the more you show, what I'm trying to say is that many people actually have that knowledge, but they tend to remove it from their portfolio because they think that a good rendering, a good photomontage, like very visual things, very
Hmm.
visual documents, is what people are expecting, and is not the case always.
No, it's not
Especially,
always the case.
right? So the more versatile that you can prove yourself you are, that you are, the better.
Hmm.
It will help you. And so how was for you? And I think that we are kind of finishing. How was your experience with the visa? Actually, was this like one of the main struggles? How was your experience with that?
Okay, so I got my like but next last year I got the job myself, and then I contacted the architect labs, and they followed me like throughout the whole process. It was simple working with you guys because you're in charge of it, and you I put you in contact with the studio, with the office, and uh, you were just trying to make it possible, and that's how it worked. It took, I don't know, like 4 months maybe. I don't know how long it
How
took.
long it took? That long?
No, I'm not. I don't remember.
I mean, in terms of the process, it takes only like a month and a half, depending
Okay.
if the company needs a site visit. But I mean, Corgan
Right.
is huge, and it was not the case. But I was
Hmm.
mainly more interested in how did you experience the whole visa process in terms of, my God, I got a job and now I have to deal with all this. Why don't can I just go there? And was it like a nightmare for you, or it
No,
was
it
actually
wasn't. It
peaceful?
wasn't a nightmare. It was, yeah, as you say, it was peaceful because I contacted you and you helped me, so I didn't have to worry about it like that much. I was working hand by hand with you, so you were like in charge of it. So it wasn't difficult at all.
Glad
You
to
did
hear that.
you
And
did
and
the work for that for the visa.
yeah, and in terms of the transfer, because you transfer from Corgan to McGinnis,
Yeah, I was
was a
great.
different process or?
Uh, yeah, I mean it was different because I already had all these other documents that I got back like last year when I got the visa. So that's
Hmm.
something that
Hmm.
I had. I don't remember like the names of these documents, but
I
that's
don't.
something I had in order to travel to the US. I was already in the US, so the process was quicker, I guess. Um, yeah, it was very quick. All that. It only took like less than 2 weeks, right? Uh,
Yes.
to transfer from one company to the other.
Okay.
That was great. Yeah.
Glad to hear that we will help in that regard. And so do you see yourself for a long time in the US? That is something that you would like to, or as you said, you are completely open to
Yeah,
whatever future brings to you?
I'm open. Like I like New Zealand, I like Australia, uh, maybe I don't know Qatar, like for a few years there. But I really like California as well. So I don't know what's gonna happen. I can see myself living here, like in California.
So we won't see you in Gran Via one day, right? In Madrid. That's not gonna
Oh,
happen for.
you will see me, but I will just be visiting.
Good, good,
But
good,
who
good,
knows
good.
in the future? Who knows?
And what about any expectations in terms of running your own studio and having your own team? Are you
Yeah,
interested in that, or is
oh
not
yeah,
something?
yeah. I'm interested in that. Yeah, I would like to like in the future. That's a possibility. Yeah, that's something that I have in mind, having my
You look
own
ambitious, so
office.
that could be something to add to your resume. And
Yeah, I know some people in my promotion. These people are young. They are 26. They are in my promotion. They are running their own offices now.
oh,
I know,
really? Look
I
at
know
this.
like 4 people, and one of them have got like a house already. So,
That they're building a house already. That's amazing.
and
Here
they
in
are
the
all no, they are all in Spain, which is more amazing.
Yeah, that's wow. Yeah, that's incredible. Well, I mean, the small studios here has been always the most common thing. Like you just finish college, you set up
Hmm.
like a small garage with a friend and you start doing competitions and so on. So,
Hmm.
but I mean, it's very difficult. So that's very
Yeah.
impressive. Um, well, Guillermo, I don't know if I'm missing something. I mean, I could be here for another hour chatting with you, but I just can't wait to see what's next in your career. It seems that this just started and that nothing really stops you. That's very, very inspiring. I don't know, guys, how you felt about this. But if there's any questions that you would like to ask him, this is the right time because I've been just chatting and I don't know if I missed questions. I'm sorry. There's a lot of people here, but I don't know. Um, and I don't know what else. I think
Yeah,
that,
feel free to ask anyone if they can
yeah,
ask.
yeah, well, you know what's
Can
going to
they?
happen. This always happens. Like, yeah, they can just type it.
Oh, okay.
I'm not checking the Facebook Live though, because normally we run the interviews in during the week, and
Hmm.
so someone in the team, manage the Facebook Live and the comments and so on. But today it's been a challenge with the time difference, um, and your crazy schedule. It seems like how many hours do you work per day, or you spend a lot in traveling, in commuting? Sorry.
No, it's like 5 minute walking distance from the
Oh,
office.
really? Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
it's right in the financial district, the
Oh,
office. That's where
okay.
my house is.
Okay.
So it's like 5 minutes. That's great walking. uh,
Wow.
yes, I don't spend that time commuting,
Okay. Is it
which
is
is
it the
great.
bike as common as it is in LA, in San Francisco? Or
Um, yeah, well, in LA it's not common. Uh, in San
it's
Francisco, I would
not?
say in LA, no way.
Oh, wow.
No.
Well, I met when I was there in December, I met with a few Architect US participants, and maybe it was just the chance that they were all living very close to their offices,
Hmm.
and they were just riding their
Yeah,
bicycles.
but that's not what people
It's
do
not
in
common.
LA.
Normally, you
No.
get a car, right? That's the most
Yeah,
common.
car. Yeah.
Yeah.
And San Francisco, yeah, you can see more people on bikes, I would say, in San Francisco. San Francisco is a city. LA is not a city. LA is like lots of neighborhoods put together. It's spread out. Yeah.
It's crazy. It's
Hmm.
crazy. Are you liking it better? Well, it's too early, but it seems like you're
It's
enjoying it.
yeah. I have all these friends in LA. LA was great. Uh, I'm enjoying both. Both are different. I like each city offers you different things. So yeah, these two experiences are great, both of them.
Okay, congrats, man. That's what Ivy Boloski is saying. So congrats. And
Okay, thank you.
and Katarina, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, is asking for how long can you stay in the US with this visa? Well, I can answer that. The maximum length is 18 months, but if you are as well, I have many adjectives for you. Uh, hard worker, clever, proactive, and energetic person as Guillermo is, you will use that time, a year or a year and a half, for getting a job for long term. That's what most of the people do, right? If you prove yourself in the company that you land, is most likely they will offer you to stay and to sponsor you for a long-term work visa. And that might happen to you for sure because they asked me, Guillermo, just so you know, they asked me, yeah, they asked
Fingers
me,
crossed.
they asked me about this, and I was like, you haven't even hired him yet, and you're already thinking
Hmm.
of how he could stay. But that's actually a pretty common question. I mean, I have to say that, as I mentioned before, they were really impressed with your work and seemed to be very in love with you before starting. But that's pretty common. It's always a question. Okay, what's next when this candidate, completes the J1 visa program? And there's always an option. I mean, I don't know anyone who has been willing to stay that couldn't find a way. The most natural way I would say is the O1 visa,